Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Justin, and welcome back to the channel. And today with you guys is another LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga video. Today, we don't have any news, so poop on that. God, I'm so mad. We're, what, February 10th, and we still have no freaking news. Especially, we're gonna get news every Wednesday. Well, we've been saying that, so hopefully, hopefully next Wednesday we'll get some freaking news. But again, when we do get news, I will be covering it. But today's video topic is something that I think that this game needs. This is a feature that I think is in this game that I'm playing right here, LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, the last LEGO Star Wars game to release from TT Games, or this is really TT Fusion, but I'm playing as a very special and specific character in this game, which can be found right here in the character grid. J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy is player 2 over here. Where is she? There she is, stuck in the... Hey, Kathleen, get over here! Stuck in the freaking bushes. Yeah, so I figured that, since LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, yes, it's not every Star Wars movie, we're going to be getting content, DLC content from Rebels, I think, and I don't know about Resistance or Clone Wars, but Solo, Rogue One, those movies technically are not part of the Skywalker Saga. However, they do heavily influence it. Like, Solo takes place after Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One takes place literally 2 to 3 seconds before A New Hope, Episode 4. There's a lot of stuff going on with those movies. But, again, in the main vanilla game, so to speak, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is Episode 1 to 9. That's really it. And I think that it would be a really good feature to kind of include the directors of each movie, you know what I mean? And quickly, before I get into this, pause the video and leave a comment in the comments, and I'll see if you're right without Googling it, just from your own Star Wars knowledge, alright? I can't prove that, but just do what I say here. Try to list every single director from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, all the way to Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong in the comments. Again, don't cheat, just tell me right now, and now let's keep going. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I figure, it's hard to say, because I think all Star Wars is good. I do think that the prequels are the worst made. I think a lot of people can agree on that, just acting, writing, CGI, but they're still phenomenal movies to watch. They're canon. I just watched Episode 1, 2, 3. They're really fun. I love the freaking prequels, man. I love the originals, and the sequels are my favorite. The Last Jedi.
You look well. Surprisingly well.
Shut up. The Last Jedi is, without a doubt, my favorite film of all time. Rian Johnson, you're a motherfudging king. But basically, my favorite movie, The Last Jedi, could be someone's least favorite. And my least favorite, Attack of the Clones, which I still think is a fun movie to watch, could be, your favorite, you know what I mean? So I think it'd be really cool to include every single director who did the main 9 movies as, like, bonus characters, you know what I mean? Like, say you pull up the grid, and this is not the Skywalker Saga grid, this is the Force Awakens grid, but say, you pull it up, you go, oh, there's J.J. Abrams, there's Kathleen Kennedy, there's, blah, 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 you know what I mean? So that'd be kind of cool to have those characters in there. So, I'm gonna run through them, you know what I mean? And, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, are all directed by George Lucas. Of course, George Lucas created Star Wars. He's the godfather of Star Wars. I disagree with some things he says on Star Wars. I think a lot of people kind of, goat out and sheep out and go, oh, well, if George Lucas said it, it's gotta be true. It's like without actually, effing thinking or using their head. So, he's not a perfect person, but he did create Star Wars. So, there, you gotta give him that. That's kind of cool. But again, he directed 1, 2, 3, and really, he kind of paved the way for, everything Star Wars, back in 1977, and then technically in 1999, which was The Phantom Menace, so the first film, but the 4th released. But, he really did create. So I think that, I understand why he's not in this game, because this is the Force Awakens game, duh, but I think that it'd be really, nice tribute, nice feature to kind of have George Lucas in there, considering he freaking started it all. So now we're going to move on to the original trilogy. Now, this is where people can get a little bit confused here, because I knew this, but I don't know if some of you other guys knew this. So, Episode 4, A New Hope, was written and directed by George Lucas, just like 1, 2, and 3, nothing different there. However, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, a lot of people think was written and directed by George Lucas, just because, oh, George did 1 through 6, and then the evil Disney took over. No, that's not true, fake fans. But, Episode 5 is not directed by George Lucas. He only did A New Hope in the original trilogy. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, was directed by, I'm going to probably get F his name up here, but he was directed by Irvin Kershner, I think it's Kirshner, He did The Empire Strikes Back, and he did a great job. My favorite film of the original trilogy. Again, I love them all, but if I had to pick, I'd probably say Empire. But you know, Irvin did a great job doing that film. I think he really stepped things up in a lot of ways, and he really paved the way. A lot of people regard The Empire Strikes Back as one of, if not the best, Star Wars movie ever released. I don't agree with that. I think it's one of the best. It's certainly not my favorite, but I think it's a great film. Great film. And you know, I think it'd be really nice for TT Games to include Irvin in the game, of course, for directing The Empire Strikes Back. And then Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, is directed by Richard Marquand. Marquand. I think it's Marquand with an N. But he did a good job too. I think that Return of the Jedi is my least favorite in the original trilogy, but it has a great ending. It has great action scenes. The fight between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker on the Death Star 2 is probably one of the best scenes in the entire Skywalker saga. I think Luke Skywalker kind of beating the crap out of him and then realizes, oh wait, what am I doing? You know, I shouldn't do this. And then, you know, same thing in Episode 8. But there's a really nice kind of, you know, mature element to that film where, because I don't think, now don't quote me on this, but I don't agree that Star Wars is for kids. I never thought a kid should see it. I don't think it's for children at all. I think like PBS Kids and, you know, something like that. That's for kids, not Star Wars. Far too violent. But I do think that if a kid watched these films, which they do, kids play Call of Duty, just crap parents, you know, you were going to get kids not understanding things, you know, because they're kids, duh. Now, I know kids aren't that, you know, that's stupid, but, you know, when you look at it, you know, oh, the kids movie, like, you know, Cars is not a kids movie. Cars is for everyone. When I was a kid, I didn't understand what the F was going on in Cars that much. I was, oh, talking cars, I gotta collect them, you know. But then as a teenager and an adult, I said, oh, there's a lot of mature things in this movie. And it's still fun to watch as an adult, because it's, again, for all ages. Same type of thing here. So I think Return of the Jedi kind of matured the franchise in a really good way and paved the way for, technically, Phantom Menace, but also The Force Awakens, which is the game I'm playing, which is the director that I'm playing right now, J.J. Abrams. I think he did Star Trek, and he did something else, probably. But he kind of rebooted / revitalized Star Wars. And a lot of people don't like this movie. I love it. I think the sequels are the best Star Wars films out there. I think because they're the newest and, you know, best acting, best writing, blah, blah, blah. But J.J. Abrams did a great job, man. The Force Awakens is an excellent film. It is a little bit of a retread of New Hope. I will give it that, but that's not a bad thing because that's what it's supposed to be, you know. Of course, the next film, my favorite movie of all time. But yeah, I think, you know, technically J.J. Abrams is already in this game, but, you know, his film, The Force Awakens, yes, this is an entire video game, a $60 game built around one film, and the Skywalker Saga is going to have 9 in them, plus more content, but, you know, having J.J. Abrams just, you know, plop him in, you know what I mean? Put him in there. He directed The Force Awakens, and he did a great job doing it. So 8, I do not have this character. They only have J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy. They don't have anyone else in this game. Maybe I can make him the customizer, I don't know. But Episode 8, The Last Jedi, is directed and written by Rian Johnson, who of course did Brick, he did Looper, he did The Last Jedi, and he also did Knives Out, which Knives Out is also one of my favorite movies of all time, probably top 10. Knives Out is a flawless masterpiece in my eyes, and The Last Jedi is also, in my eyes, in a lot of people's eyes, believe it or not. I know there's a lot of, you know, hate on the on the sequels online and on Twitter and on Reddit and all that crap, but when you think about it, really think about it, you know.
Anything else they want? Relocated.
Shut it. The prequels are hated by some, but they're loved by millions of people. The original trilogy and the sequel, believe it or not, the sequels are loved by millions of people worldwide. Yeah, crazy, right? Because they're freaking great. But Rian Johnson really is probably, I think The Last Jedi is probably the most polarizing movie of all time. Either you freaking hate the crap out of it, or you love the crap out of it. I don't understand how you could hate it. I don't understand how you can hate Star Wars at all. But, you know, whatever. But again, I love everything about The Last Jedi, man. It is by far my favorite film ever made. It is pure cinema at its finest, and everything about it is a 10 out of 10 perfection. And I really hope that TT Games really give Rian Johnson a, you know, spot on this game, because, man, he made my favorite film. He probably made, you know, The Last Jedi, like I said, a lot of people hate it, but a lot of people love it, too. I think more people love it than hate it. You just don't hear about the love, because, you know, the internet thrives on hatred, but, kind of like Palpatine, Snoke, in the Sith. But yeah, Last Jedi, man, Rian Johnson did a great job with it, and I really hope he's in the game. And of course, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was directed by J.J. Abrams, who also did The Force Awakens. I love The Rise of Skywalker. I think it's a great movie. I think it ended the Skywalker Saga in a great note, and I think J.J. Abrams is a fantastic director as well. Not as good as Ryan, but he's better than George and better than everyone else. Now, my favorite, of course, is Rian Johnson. Who's my least favorite? Well, my least favorite director is, surprisingly, George Lucas. I think he did a good job with A New Hope. I don't really have anything against him in A New Hope. The prequels, however, like I said, I love watching them, man. They're so much fun to watch. There's great stuff in there, but there's nothing bad about the prequels in my eyes. It's just the way that certain scenes are kind of disappointing, you know. There's certain lines, certain words, certain phrases, certain framing of, you know, the camera framing, the way shots are lined up and framed. I would do it differently, you know what I mean? Nothing about it screams horrible, and I think that the prequels suck. I don't think they're giving that justice. The prequels don't suck. Nor do the sequels, nor do the originals. It's just there's something disappointing about each prequel in a few regards. And I don't know if George Lucas just didn't care. For example, there's a scene in episode 1 where Padme Amidala, it's a great shot, right? She's looking outside of the hall, ready to get taken by the battle droids, and you can see all the way in the left corner, there's a freaking outlet, and there's a goddamn plug that powers her dress. Why didn't they rotoscope that out with CGI? I don't know. George is a freaking moron, apparently. You know what I mean? So there's just certain things that I feel like George didn't take it seriously. He just kind of half-assed it, and he was like, oh, it looks alright, or he was more like, oh, it looks alright, she's CGI, CGI. And again, I'm not hating on the guy. There's certain things I don't agree with what he says, but again, he made it. But just because he made Star Wars doesn't mean he knows everything. I mean, technically he knows everything. You know what I mean? He's not the best when it comes to making his own creation, which is why I think that, like I said, he's the worst director. And I'm not saying he's a bad director, just comparing him to Richard Marquand and Irvin Kershner, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson. He's my least favorite. But again, you know what I mean? That all kind of boils down to opinions. But at the end of the day, I think that every single director really kind of paved the way to making the Skywalker Saga freaking awesome. And yes, Kathleen Kennedy didn't direct the Star Wars movie, and I don't know why people hate her, because I think she's awesome, but I don't care what she talks about in real life. It's how she works on franchises that I care about. She's in this game, so I'm assuming she might be in the Skywalker Saga game. Who knows? Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, they kind of have their marks in the animated and live-action TV shows and all that stuff, but in terms of Skywalker Saga, man, George, JJ, Ryan, Richard, and Irvin really kind of deserve to be in this game. You know what I mean? This is a feature that they really should add. So tell me in the comments what you think. Again, I just told you all the directors and what I think about each one. They're all pretty good, but again, George Lucas is my least. Ryan's my favorite. But again, guys, this is a huge topic. I really hope they add him. I don't really see too many videos on this. They're talking about, oh, add the first person, add online. But really, I think that the best feature is really just kind of prioritizing the fact that these people made the films, and we need to kind of, give them their due respect, so to speak. So again, tell me in the comments what you think. Did you guess them all correctly in the beginning of the video when I asked you? Maybe you didn't do it. I don't freaking know. But anyway, I can't wait for the Skywalker Saga. When we do get news, I will be covering it. I'm absolutely pumped and I'm a freaking gourd to play this, man. Every day that passes by and we don't get news, it's another day wasted, in a way. But again, I do think that this game is going to be freaking legendary. I can't wait for it. And again, TT Games, I know you're not watching this, but please, if somehow by God's grace you are, please add every single director of the Skywalker Saga. Maybe you already added it, who knows. But I think not having these characters in this game would kind of be a shame to the films they made. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Pew! Pew!